Alright guys, we're picking up where we left off here. We have a paddle that moves left and right, bounces into walls, it cannot move up and down, and we've got four, I think I already said that, walls all around. On the left side we gave ourselves some folders to store our walls in, so they can be found easily and hidden easily. And now we are going to add a ball and make it where it can bounce, and we're going to set some of the settings for the ball for later use. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to level 1 and up in the top in this little file node finder. I don't know what this is, the scene dock, and we're going to hit this plus sign up here, and we are looking for a kinematic body, or no, actually we're looking for a rigid body 2D, R-I-G-I-D, rigid body 2D. It looks like this beach ball right here, rigid body 2D, and I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to go ahead and rename this to ball. So now we have our ball. And what we're going to notice right here, it's giving us an error. It's going to tell us we don't have any shapes, but we also don't have any pictures. Now, if you'll remember, when we add new objects to this world, it puts it on the 0, 0 location, which is right here. And that happens to be right next to, that happens to be where our walls are, and we can't see it. If we are going to like try and stick something there, it's going to at least get in the way. So we're going to use this eyeball right next to the walls, and that's going to hide our walls. Now we have some freedom to work on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first give this a picture because we can't see it. So I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to go to sprite, and I'm going to click create. Now we have a sprite here. I'm going to take this icon and I'm going to drag and drop it into the texture. It's going to appear perfect. Now the ball, we don't want the ball to be that big. That's pretty big. So we're going to shrink it. Now the reason why I'm telling you to shrink it now before you've added your collision shape to it is because if you don't shrink it now, it gives you an error. And it'll give you another one of these triangles. So we're going to shrink it before that triangle has a chance to cause us any problems. So I'm just going to shrink it a little bit and make it about that size. Now I'm going to add my collision shape to this guy. I am going to click the plus sign up here in the top left. And then I'm going to look for my collision shape 2D. Now I've been searching in the search bar every single time. This time I'm going to show you the recent bar, which is over here on the left, and when you use things over and over, they'll be over here in the recent tab, and it looks like we can even favorite some things too. I've never actually tried that. So let's click this, where are we doing? Collision shape, and I'm gonna, can we favorite it? Oh, there we go, favorited collision shape. We're probably going to use that a lot. So let's hit create, and in the top right we need to give it a shape. I'm going to choose the 2D rectangle that's under this collision shape 2D right here, and I'm going to hit rectangle, and then I'm going to stretch this and fill in the shape. Now I'm rolling in with my mouse wheel and I'm getting closer so I can see the shape. Wherever your mouse is where it zooms into. So if I want to zoom in this bottom corner, I can put my mouse there, and then I can roll in and it zooms in on that particular spot. If I want to zoom in on this guy, I can just zoom in with my mouse, and now I can grab the outside edge and fill it in. One there and one here. There we go. Now I am going to click the ball here, and I am going to lock all the children together with the child safety locks right there in between the lock and the bone, and now everything's stuck together, so I will not be separating them. Now I'm still on the scaling button. I got to be careful if I'm trying to move around, because if I accidentally click out here and pull, look what happens to my shape. Control Z undoes for me. But this is a good time to look at this error right here that you'll get, because I have stretched the entire ball, and like I told you, if you stretch the size of the ball from the whole thing, from the main root, it's going to give you this error because it wants you to fix the picture first before that happens. So I'm going to use Control Z to undo what I've done, and I'm going to pull the ball into the center of the room, and I can unhide my wall so I can see what's going on. Let's see what happens when we push play. What happens with this ball? It just falls straight down onto the paddle. I can knock it around. Not really helpful though, huh? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this ball some momentum, some motion, and we're going to give it some characteristics of the game breakout. On the right hand side, we are going to change this to character mode. I'm under the inspector over here on the right hand side. If you select on the ball and then go to the right hand side, you'll see that the properties of the ball show up. Rigid body 2D and character mode. This makes it where the ball doesn't spin, it stays facing you and looking like right at you. We're going to leave mass alone, we're going to leave weight alone, and we're going to go to physics material. I'm going to hit this box here and I'm going to say new physics material. I'm going to click it again and I'm going to change friction to 0, and I'm going to change bounce to 1. Okay, gravity scale. I am going to set this to 0 because I don't want gravity having anything to do with my bouncing ball. Okay. As we keep going down, we don't need custom. I'm going to pull this bar out so you can read it. We don't need custom integrator. We don't need continuous CD, but we do want this contacts reporting and contact monitor. I am going to turn on contact monitor, and I'm going to turn contacts reported to 1. This is going to allow us to talk to the objects that we bump into later on in the game. This is going to be important. I'm going to leave it on, and I hope you turned it on as well. I'm going to keep going here. We can get to linear. Excuse me. Whew. Linear. This is like directional motion. We're going to click this, and it's going to give us it's going to open up another bar here, and we have X and Y. If you remember me talking about positive X is to the right and negative Y is upward, we are going to start us off with a 150 and a 150. Now that is going to be moving to the right and down, which is going to give us a direction that looks like this to start off with. We're going to also turn dampening to 0. What that means is it's not going to slow down. It's not going to slowly come to a halt. This is like kind of like friction, but anyway, there you go. That's good enough for explanation. Now I'm going to hide this over a little bit more, and I'm going to push play, and let's see what happens with our ball. Boom. It bounces off the objects. It doesn't lose any momentum. It's moving at a pretty decent speed, and it doesn't spin when it hits the walls. And so that is going to be a wrap for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.